I'm sick.
Oh.
I don't know, I guess some of you saw on social media, but the doctor said that I had the flu yesterday. They didn't do an official flu test, but all the signs sort of pointed to the flu, and so I have a horrible cough and a fever, and I don't feel good, but I did not feel released to cancel the concert, and so I feel like we're supposed to be here. And so the reason I opened the show with Carol Burnett is, first of all, I'm a huge fan of her. Is anyone else a huge fan of her? And so I had the chance to go see her live just about a year ago, and she opened her show like she always did on TV, where she did a Q&A with the whole entire audience. And I always loved that because you never knew what was going to happen, and it was funny, and humor is just my jam. I love humor. And I felt like it was a way to see her more tangible and reachable, and so I wanted to do that in my shows. And so I wanted to at least open it up for you guys to do the same thing, but also to let you know that I was sick. And so if you will save any serious questions for another time, that would be great, because what would be ideal is that this would be sort of a funny time. And so if you can ask really serious questions later, but what'd you say? Can I do the Tarzan yell? No, I can't. But anyway, if you ask you can ask any question you want, but I just at least wanted to give you the heads up that you will be seeing a show unlike any other. I have never canceled a show. This was the closest I've ever come to canceling a show, so I really do not feel well, so all of your prayers are appreciated, but I'm going to do my best. And so just without any further ado, for you at least to know that, I would really appreciate it. And now you can ask your questions, so please raise your hands if you have a question. Yes?
Why did you choose the name Plumb? Is it because you like plums? My mom and I have a thing going on. Can you decide?
You have a thing going on with your mom about plums. Okay, do you have a thing about plums going on, or do you have a thing about my answer?
Your answer. I want to know.
Oh, well, let's see, what do you think? If you have a thing going on, maybe I can tell you if you're right or wrong.
I really like plums.
You think I really like plums, and your mom, what do you think? You just didn't know at all. Well, I could make you go to the merch table and get the book and go to page 52 and read the second paragraph. But I will not do that. The name Plumb comes from a Suzanne Vega song. Do you know who Suzanne Vega is? Mm-hmm. She's a girl that sings da 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 da, and she has a song called My Favorite Plum, and it was on repeat by accident. It was on repeat the night that I was telling my label that I would tell them that week what I was going to name my band or my artist thing, because my real name's Tiffany, and I was wanting it to be a band, but it turned out that it's just me. And so that song, My Favorite Plum, was on repeat, and so I said, how about Plum? And they said, how would you spell it? Which I would have never asked that question. I mean, I thought P-L-U-M, I guess. And the guy in the room who is has been one of my longtime producers, his name is Matt Bromley, he said if you spell it with a B, changes the meaning to mean something more deeper. Like if something is plum, it is true, it is correct, it is right. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I want to spell it with a B. And so his last name is Bromley, so I sort of joked that the B in Plum is for Bromley, since it was kind of his idea. But in all reality, it just means true. So there you go. So neither one of you are right. Next question, please. Yes?
How did you get your voice to sound so drop-dead gorgeous?
How do I get my voice to sound so drop-dead gorgeous? Tonight I feel like the flu has caused me to have like a baritone voice. So I don't know whether that's, oops, sorry about this. I don't know about this evening's voice, but so I can't promise anything. That's just not happening for me, so I'm just gonna do it. But I've just sang my whole life, and God gave it to me. I was probably 15 or 16 when my parents sent me to a vocal instructor just to learn how to warm up properly and just how to practice and sing properly, just because they didn't want me to ruin it, because I would sing really loud and really hard. And I did that just for a few months. I didn't love it. I felt like the teacher wanted me to sound proper, and there was just something off-putting to me about that, so I did it for a little while. But I just sang this way my whole life, and so God can get all the credit for the good and the bad and the ugly that comes out of this. Yes? do I buy my own clothes or does someone design them for me? It's kind of a combination of both. I buy my own clothes most of the time. My husband is actually really good at buying stuff for me too. He's an importer, travels to China a lot, so he'll come home with some really weird stuff that he thinks that I'd love, and he's usually right. But there is a lady in Bulgaria who has an Etsy shop, and she hand makes clothing. If you'll send her your measurements, and she gives you sort of some of her specialties, I guess, on her website. And so I use her a lot. She made this, and it's not a garbage bag. It's actually cotton, but I love how she makes stuff. So a little bit of that, and I mean, I love TJ Maxx, and I love thrift stores, and so I don't have really expensive taste in clothes at all, because I don't know, my husband has really expensive taste. The only expensive thing I like to buy are Doc Martens, which is what my shoes are usually. I collect them, and so that's the only really expensive thing I ever buy, and that may not even be expensive to some, but anyway, does that answer your question? Yeah, in the back.
What's one of the funniest moments you've had on tour?
One of the funniest moments I've had on tour, ooh, but there's so many of those. Obviously, I mean, after 21 years of doing this, there's a lot of them. One of them, I ripped my pants in half, like from here to here. I was jumping off of a drum riser, and I had decided to forego wearing undergarments, and so that was really embarrassing. Yep. And to make it even more exciting, I mean, I catapulted myself back onto the drum riser and covered my shame with like a pair of angel wings that I had been wearing on stage. And right as I was trying to find an exit, how do I get off stage, how do I finish the set, this artist over to my left, standing off to the side, who was watching my set, because I was a fairly new artist at the time. He was just checking out my set because he had never seen me play. And he wrapped a towel around me, and his name is Mac Powell from Third Day. Aww. And so maybe 6 months ago or so, I played a festival and he was there, and we took a photo as a joke of him with a folded towel. I was like, thank you. True story. I mean, that's funny stuff right there.
I wonder if she's going to feel like signing a book.
I have time for about one more question, and then I have to go. So, anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Do you have a favorite funny movie? Man, I love funny movies. The one that just comes to mind that's just a quick funny is Pure Luck. You ever seen that? It's with Martin Short and Danny Glover. It's old, and he is accident prone.
Oh,
and so anything bad that can happen just always happens to him, and you just have to see it. It's just so funny. It's hilarious, and so it's a good pick-me-up if you need one. So I love comedies, but that's just one that comes to mind. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm not my full self. I'd love to come up here and just pretend to be, the hostess with the mostest. I'm taking all kinds of medicine. It makes me feel, some of it makes me kind of feel sleepy and whatnot, so I'm just doing the best I can. So thank you for being gracious and for being here. And I'm really glad to be here. One of my best friends is here in the audience, and so it's just, if nothing else, it was a great excuse to get to see her and her babies and her husband. But I'm really glad to see you too. And this very first artist that you're going to get to meet tonight, his name is Eric Marshall. He's the lead singer of a band called Young Oceans. He's out of Brooklyn. He's moved to Nashville just recently, and I dare say, in my experience of music of 21 years, he is in my top 5 people that I respect. He is authentic. He is genuine. He makes you feel inspired to go deeper. And his music, you have just got to get it. You can put his CD in and you can just drive and drive and drive and just find yourself getting lost in the spirit of Jesus. It's just so calming and beautiful, the kind of art that he makes. And I'm really honored to call him my friend and to have him out on tour. So please give a very warm Ohio welcome to Mr. Eric Marshall.